July, the consumer price index rose 0.2% last month, in line with expectations, actually a little better than expectations. That pushed the inflation rate down to 2.9%. And Willie, that's the first time the inflation rate has been below 3% since 2021. And the Wall Street Journal reporting and breaking news that it pretty much seals the deal when it comes to a rate cut, an interest rate cut, when the Fed meets September 17th and 18th.
Yeah, we're going to have Andrew Ross Sorkin join us in just a moment to walk through some of the numbers, but this is really good news. This July inflation report, 2.9% inflation year over year. As you said, that's the lowest since March of 2021. Prices are down, importantly, for food. Those have been nagging people at grocery stores for years now, and energy still higher than anyone would like them to be, but they're headed in the right direction. This is great news. Take politics out of it. This is great news for the country. This is great news for people who need to go out and buy things for their families. So a great report here. Obviously, there's some politics at play here, John. This has been the issue. The one issue in the economy, despite so much good news about our economy as we make our way out of this COVID era, that has been nagging. And it looks like from this July report anyway, we are definitely headed in the right direction.
Taking politics out of it, good for America. Putting politics in it, good for Vice President Harris and the Biden White House. I mean, this is what they've been signaling for a while. They believe this was coming. They're showing the fundamentals of the economy have been strong. Inflation had been that nagging concern. A lot of Americans still feeling it, paying too much, and register their unhappiness in the polls. And we've heard Donald Trump tie again and again and again to try to suggest that the Biden-Harris policies are what's behind this. And he reveled in that stock market slump of a week or so ago, one that has now has completely dissipated. And Joe, this is going to be a good news story for the White House. It's good for Vice President Harris. It all but ensures that rate cut, and we can be guaranteed that Donald Trump will complain about that, suggesting that it will be the Fed playing politics. They shouldn't be doing so close to an election. You can hear the Truth Social tweet post being typed out as we speak.
Right. Let's bring in right now the co-anchor of CNBC Squawk Box, the New York Times columnist, Andrew Ross Sorkin. You know, Andrew, it's like just a week ago we were telling people not to jump out of windows, that things would likely turn around.
Yep.
And it does seem we get these conflicting storylines about how well is the economy doing. It does seem, though, to be slowing down and moving in that glide path we've talked about for quite some time to lower inflation with no recession.
This is what you call, or at least appears to be, the soft landing we've all been talking about. Just to put some meat on the bones here, food prices, you were talking about just what this means sort of politically. Food prices only up 0.2% month over month. That's actually quite good. You're looking at grocery prices up 0.1%, apparel prices up 0.4%. Then on the other side, you actually saw a decline in both new and used vehicles. And then there's the issue of rent, which is also always sort of a persistent question. But you look at the whole picture, and it does feel, and I think it's not just a feel, it's the numbers demonstrating that inflation is coming down. The other thing to look at is a measure in the bond market of how people are betting what the Federal Reserve does as a result of all of this. We've talked about what Jay Powell might do in September. Is he going to lower interest rates, and by how much? So going into this number, the expectation was that he was going to lower interest rates by 50 basis points. And that was more than the 25 basis points that people had been talking about even months before this. Well, now it's reversed to just 25 basis points. That's now the more people are betting on 25 basis points as opposed to 50. You might say, what does that even mean? Well, 50 basis points would suggest that he is worried about growth, that he's worried the economy is going to be challenged and even struggle more. Today, as I just said, that reversed to only 25 basis points, which gives you a better sense that at least the view inside the Fed, or at least the view of the markets about what the Fed is going to do, suggesting things are better. And as you mentioned, the White House, the administration, and Vice President Harris probably cheering these numbers on this morning.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of warnings out there that we've heard, Willie. Home Depot suggested that the economy was slowing down and issued a warning based on what they were seeing. And of course, there always seems to be a story every 2 or 3 days that the dude that predicted the sinking of the Titanic, the downing of the Hindenburg, and every crash since the Middle Ages says the stock market's going to crash and the economy's going to go under. So again, nobody knows for sure what's going to happen. But at least right now, these numbers suggest that things are slowing down the way policymakers have wanted them to slow down.
Yeah, and a couple of the numbers that stand out as we look through this report, which is, as I say, very impressive in terms of bringing prices down, hopefully, for families. Rent is beginning to cool a little bit. Obviously, home prices and rent have been a big concern for a lot of people. It's a really hard time to buy or sell a house, and rent is much too expensive. Also interesting to know, Andrew, as I look through this, that wage growth has now beat inflation for more than a year. So for the last 15 months, wages have been growing faster than inflation. That's also good news for workers, of course.
And by the way, that's significant because one of the things that you heard over the last several years, especially from the Trump campaign and others, was that, given the growth of inflation and where wages were, that people were behind and on a cumulative basis. And as you get closer to now, this goes back to sort of how people feel about inflation versus their own wage. As wages are now outpacing inflation, it is, I think, making people feel better. This was something you heard the Biden administration say was going to happen, that people were going to feel it, but that they couldn't feel it before. And I think it's starting to sort of, the numbers at least are starting to be now where some of that feeling may be come this fall. And we'll see how obviously it plays out in the election.